Hi, you are listening to the Book Talk for Room by Emma Donahue. I gave this book a 9 out of 10. The book begins on Jack's 5th birthday. He has spent the last 5 years inside a room with only Ma and other objects like chair, rug, skylight, door, and more. He and his mom follow a strict routine every day, but are never allowed to leave room. At the end of the day, Jack goes to sleep inside wardrobe, and a man named Old Nick comes inside room. This book follows Jack and his ma as they try and escape from room, as well as the life they face after. The character that changed the most throughout this book is Jack's ma. As stated above, the novel chronicles her life before, during, and after she was kidnapped for 8 years and was kept in room. Similarly, the novel also documents her mental and emotional state during this time. Before she was kidnapped, she led a relatively normal life. However, when she is kidnapped, she becomes mentally and emotionally tough. She never stops trying to escape, even after multiple failed attempts, and she becomes a rock for Jack when he is born. If anything, she tries harder to escape, and once Jack comes around, if only to give him a better life than she has had. After she and Jack escape from room, Jack's ma has to try and fit into a regular society after 8 years of isolation. Naturally, this takes a great strain on her. She comes back as an outcast of society, divorced parents, and little to no friends. Not to mention, the media consistently and relentlessly hounds her. She never wanted to be treated like a hero because, as she says, she's not the first person to have lived through something terrible. Yet, this statement only makes people love her more, and ironically makes her more of a hero in the eyes of society. Eventually, the strain becomes unbearable and she can't run away from her past like she would like to. After a failed suicide attempt, she and Jack are able to finally begin healing. To do this, though, they both agree to go and see Room one last time. If this book had gone on for one more chapter, it would have been about Ma and Jack in the future. After they go and see Room and are finally able to accept the trauma of their past, they would have begun to assimilate into society. It would be interesting to see exactly how the characters moved on and began societal life again. I think the author would have detailed how Jack reacts to social situations like entering elementary school, and how he reacts to so many more modern conveniences than what he found in Room, which the author briefly touches on in the novel. Additionally, I think the author would go into more detail about Ma's recovery from her bout with depression, which was completely absent from the novel following her attempted suicide. At that point, it focused mostly on Jack. In this additional chapter, it would have been nice to see the main characters almost finish their development as they try and close this horrific chapter in their lives. A large internal conflict in the novel exists between Jack's ma and herself. As detailed within the novel, she struggles with her feelings of depression and helplessness while she wants to get out of Room and escape to the real world for Jack. She must weigh the options of another possible failed escape attempt and face severe physical repercussions from Old Nick, or finally gain freedom from her prison of 8 years. Add in the stress of adjusting to societal life, and Jack's ma is in an all-in-out war with herself. A large external conflict, and perhaps the most obvious one that exists, is between Ma and Old Nick. The initial struggle occurs when Jack's ma is first kidnapped and continues for more than 8 years. She struggles trying to escape for those 8 years, and when she and Jack finally do escape and try and assimilate into society, she is constantly worried that Old Nick will escape from prison and come after her and Jack again. I hope you enjoyed this book review, and I hope you enjoyed the book as well.